welcome to ET Garage. Today's video is going to be about a problem I discovered with this Chinese copy of the ProFlow. Okay, like I was saying, there's a problem with the ProFlow. For me, it's not a problem, but it might be for you if you buy one and you decide to use the throttle body that it's designed to use. Like this is one I got off of eBay, I think for like 60 bucks or something like that. If I go to mount this, basically the holes don't line up. I'll see if I can get I'll include a close-up picture of it, but these holes are off. And I didn't realize it until I got this and I started mocking that up in case I decide to use the LS style throttle body. For anyone who hasn't been watching, this is a cheap Chinese version of the Edelbrock ProFlow intake. And my plan is still use, I'm going to be swapping it out with the tune port on my engine now. I'm refreshing again. And I decided I'm going to go a route that some other people have gone, where they use the dual blade throttle body, and basically you fab up yourself an adapter and mount it that way. Because these holes are off, it's not a problem for me because I custom fabbed this adapter. I did all that and pretty much had it done. A few more things I want to do to it, and but I decided to order one of these cheap eBay ones because I wanted to see if I could mock it up. Someone suggested taking it and turning it upside down, but if you do that, it won't work because this housing here is in the way. I could probably get some type of real low housing. They do make one or used to, that would clear that. But still, I would have to fab up brackets and stuff like that. If I do decide to go the LS or the single blade LS style throttle body that this was designed for, I would just have to get longer cables, and then I'd have to fab up a bracket, custom bracket for the TV cable, because I'm running an automatic. But I'm going to go with this for other reasons. There's a bunch of reasons I want to use this one, and that is, once I'm going to fab up a bracket that holds the original factory bracket. That will hold the cables for the throttle, the cruise control, and really important is the TV cable. Some people refer to it as kickdown cable. It's trans valve cable is what it is for the 4L60. Another reason I want to retain this is it has the lines, the vacuum ports for the evap. All the lines that go to the canister for the gas fume, the charcoal canister. So I can retain my factory evap, which I like to do because I just like the idea that any excess fumes coming from the gas tank going right back into the intake. And the one port isn't just a plain vacuum port. It actually lines up with the throttle blade on the bottom, so it only provides vacuum under certain circumstances. Another advantage to using this, I can just hook up the factory cables to the IAC, or the idle air control valve, and the throttle position sensor. The other one's not a problem, you just get adapters and hook them up, so that's not a problem either for that. But basically, the only other mod I need to do is I'm going to modify the housing for the IAC housing, because I'm not going to need the coolant lines that go through it. They're just not needed anymore. For one reason, the hose that goes here is going to go here on this manifold, and so I'm not going to need that line or that line. So those will just get hacked off, and the reason I need to hack that one off is to clear this, the thermostat housing. This one I'm just hacking off for cosmetic reasons, just look better. But they do make, or they used to, TPIS used to make a custom machine housing that does away with all this except for the IAC, the idle air control valve. I'm not sure if they still make it or not. Maybe I'll look it up and see if they do. If you know, just let me know down in the comment section. The other thing I need to do is, because I have to go to a small cap distributor with this manifold, I have to fab up a bracket for the external coil. And originally I was going to use the Edelbrock, and I still may, the Edelbrock fuel pressure regulator, which is a non-return style. My factory system is already designed for a return style. The Edelbrock one is real nice. It just plugs right into the end of the reel. All I'd have to do is run one hose and then block off the return. I'm not sure how that will work with the factory fuel pump. I mean, Edelbrock's been doing it, but the fuel pump is in the tank, and what I'm worried about is if it's non-return, won't pressure build up in there and then the fuel pump pop off the fuel line inside the fuel tank. If you're familiar with the kind that's on a 90 Corvette, I'm not sure if that's possible or not. I've had it out before. I can't remember how it is. But I did get a return style adjustable fuel regulator. This also comes with a gauge. I haven't hooked it up yet. But I can't fab this up until I get it in the car. And this will require more plumbing and more fabrication. It's not nothing terribly bad, but still it's just a little bit more work. Where if I did use the Edelbrock one, it's real simple. Just like I said, plugs in the end there, run one line over to the feed line from the tank and block off the return, which is pretty easy. I still may go that route. The only thing bad about, like I said, about that Edelbrock one is I'm not sure how it affects the pump in the tank. And it's not adjustable, where this one here is adjustable. It comes with a gauge, which is nice. So both are vacuum referenced, in case you're wondering. Let's see. Parts did come in that I need to put the bottom end of the motor together. The camshaft came in from Summit. Along with some other bearings, because I want I felt the bearings on the rods were too loose, so I went tighter size on the bearings. And if they're too tight, what you do is you just jumble the two bearings. You use 1/2 of the standard size and 1/2 of the undersized one, and that usually and you can jumble around that way. I also ordered did that with the crankshaft bearings too. I don't know. They're actually pretty good, decent clearances when I checked them on the crankshaft clearances. But everything's coming together. I'm still waiting on the heads. They're supposed to ship today, and I don't know. Hopefully they do, and my guess is they'll get here next week. Once they're here, I can bolt those on. I then need to check push rod length and order push rods, and I haven't decided what I'm going to do with the rocker arms. Use the ones I have. The ones I have are self-centering. I don't think I can use them with those aftermarket heads that I'm getting. If I do use them with the aftermarket heads, I got to remove the guide plates. Don't use the push rod guide plates with self-centering rocker arms. That's no big deal, really. I might just go ahead, since it comes with guide plates, I might just go ahead and spend the extra money on a new set of rockers that are not self-centering and go that route. Either way, I'm almost positive I can't use the push rods that I have, because I'm almost positive the heads that I'm getting will be taller. And I'll go over that in a separate video, and I'll probably need longer push rods. But that's where I'm at here. One other thing is, when I use this, and I'll put up a picture again. When I use this adapter, which is going to go here, and then the throttle body on the front, is I do have to gauge out the manifold here and here on the side. Like I said, I'll show a picture up here or somewhere. And once I do that, if I decide to go to the LS, which I may, then I might have sealing problems. I won't know until I do that. But if I do that, I'll go in another video. It's no biggie. I could just make like an adapter plate, and that shouldn't be a problem. So I guess that's about it for this video. You know, I just keep rattling on. I didn't make a video or film me machining this adapter plate. I'm actually not done with it. I might thin it out a little bit. I might take a 1/4 inch off it, and then just because I just don't need it this thick. I actually ordered a 1 inch. I could have ordered a 3/4 inch plate and used that, and that would have been fine. But I went and ordered 1 inch because it's always better to have more material than not enough. If you ever need to make these, like I seen guys on the forums that did this, and all they did was they got a hole saw and a drill, and they made it using just a hole saw and a drill and a hacksaw. You can do that. I have a combination milling machine lathe that I used, and so that makes it. I don't know if that makes it easier or not, because with a drill you just grab a drill bit and drill, and same with drilling the holes with a hole saw. It doesn't come out as nice, but it does work. Anyway, there's a snowstorm today, and I was going to go out there and start building the bottom end, but there's a snowstorm, so I decided to do this video. And I don't know, I guess that's about it. Want everybody to have a great day, and God bless.